Naples 3 different times. When we came in there the first time, we were unloading supplies under the Marshall Plan. The next morning, when we went out to the area where you could buy canned goods and foods, which had nothing out there, there suddenly were all these GI cans. They weren't going to the Marshall plants. They were being hijacked and being sold to the people out there. So you realize that, boy, it ain't a nice world out there. It's cool. When you see women that became the major breadwinner in a household because she's got a child, and a child's got a bloating stomach, there's a different attitude you take away from women that find themselves in a predicament like that. Those things I brought home. Those things that when I got into a conversation with the families, women couldn't accept that. I would die before I turned to that kind of a life. And my comment was, how do you know? Have you ever seen your child starve? So don't judge people until you see what causes the problem. So the 2 years that we were on that carrier were extremely interesting because we had very little time that we spent in the States. It might be, sometimes we had 2 weeks. We never went into repair, which was normal what you did after a shakedown. Never had that opportunity. The attitude of the Jards was that we had a security job to do. We were also available to leave the ship given any circumstance, which we did one time when we had to take money over to the bank in Naples because a cruiser had been hijacked 2 months earlier by civilian vehicles coming into the square and surrounding them and taking the money. When we went in full armor, machine guns and everything, closed the square. Everybody's sitting there and screaming, what's going on? Closed the square up, did the exchange on money, unloaded, got back to the ship, no problems. Would we have opened fire if there was an attack? You bet your ass. Because we had a Marine captain who would have absolutely enjoyed it. Unfortunately, but that was it, because you had to turn around and remember you're protecting American rights and that type of thing. We went through, and I don't know if we classified it as 5 hurricanes in the time that we were out to sea at that time, or 3 hurricanes with 2 hell of a big heavy storms. On one trip, we lost the destroyer Fox. We hit a mine. Who placed the mine? Was it a World War II layover, or was it a Russian drop-off there in the Mediterranean? We lost a number of sailors there, and the Fox had to be towed ashore. In the storms, we actually lost a tin can of the destroyer, where the waves were so strong that it ripped the front guns 5 inches right off of the deck of the ship. We had some strong seas. Aside from that, when I left there, I went to Great Lakes Naval Center. It served as a prison holding area for those that were coming up for court-martials. Court-martials would be held there, and if they're found guilty, they would go to Portsmouth, big prison. When I got there, first I got posted on prison duty, and 2 weeks later I was at a gate, and 2 weeks later I suddenly found myself as given a position as Peter 1 patrol car for the base. That is very heady. You have the security on not only the base, but the civilian employees, military employees, and traffic in and out of there, and watching the prison.